What's been the response as you've gotten out there and kind of shared that message defending Eastern Kentucky?
Well, I think, it's things I've talked about um, since I was young because I lived it, I experienced it. And growing up here in Appalachia, you're treated a different way. I mean, when you go someplace out of this area, they expect you to be able to accomplish less, and they kind of give you that bless your heart type thing. And it, they can't help it. They've not been here. They don't understand, and that's the things I try to point out. That we were the state high academic champions. Not just state football champions, but we were the state high school champions.
And I'm a sports guy. I'm sitting here right now watching the Chiefs and the Broncos are playing. I watched the World Series last night, and I'm a basketball fanatic. But when you have to make the decisions for the safety and health and the health of all the kids and all the coaches and all the fans involved, it's a tough decision. But we've been fortunate to have, just like Coach Fletcher said, an administration who really supports everything that we're trying to do. And we're trying to give it every effort we can to have sports.
And how the booking is. A lot of these shows, John, at the end of the night, you got a six-man tag match to end it all. So that's a tough spot to put people in and try to keep them safe.
Yeah, it is. I think and I think it's pretty much across the board everywhere. It's like nobody in charge really wants to step out and say, hey, you do this, 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 and this. And and truth be told, this day and age, nobody really has that kind of authority anyway. And I think they just kind of trust everybody to make your own best judgment. And what works for Nathan may not work for John, and vice versa. So we just kind of got to all just look at our situation. I know a lot of the guys out there right now are still.
But my point is, when you get all of these things that fall into place, the pageantry, the pomp, the circumstance, the entire atmosphere, I get goosebumps at, right when we come back from that first commercial break right before kickoff and I start calling the game. Man, that, it's sort of like that old saying, if that doesn't light your fire, your wood's wet. You know what I mean? And it's difficult for folks like us, even folks like us who somewhat semi-professionally talk for a living. It's difficult to articulate to people who have never experienced that precisely what that experience is like. And that's why high school football was absolutely worth fighting for.
If I could tell you how many hours that I've spent outside of practice, just in the middle of the day or at night with my assistant coaches, just talking about tactics and who we're going to put where, how to counter this team. And you sit and, gosh, I remember before the regional tournament this year, oh my gosh, I might have slept 3 or 4 hours a night just replaying, scenarios in my head.
With the Coliseum, it's a little bit different. I think we see around 4,000 in that thing. I think they're saying anywhere between 15 to 20% capacity is what they're maybe looking at to allow at this point. Of course, that could change any day. 15% capacity in the Coliseum, 600 people. So
first game of the season, you got to win, and that was after a season last year where Perry Central only won one game. And now you're getting in. You got a rough schedule ahead, but the kids seem to be playing hard. What's the feeling among the team?
We just can't lose focus on what we're trying to do and what they're trying to do. All we want our kids to do since day one, we said, just get better every practice, get better every game. And I think we're doing that. I think we got better last week in the second half. I think that we kind of went over to North Laurel a couple of weeks ago and didn't play so well. I don't know if we were ready. I didn't have them ready. I think all.
So you look at it and you see and you look at it over and over again until you've got it ingrained in your brain. And then when you see it coming, you make it. And they went back to it later in the game, and you got to pick.
Yep, and the higher level guys and girls for that matter, just they think about that stuff. It just stays. I don't know what it is in their physical makeup that makes that easier for them. But I wish we could replicate that, make it possible for lower level athletes to truly understand and just okay, if I take care of this detail here, it'll pay off for me down there. And that seems to be the big gap.